Hey, how's it going? My name's Mike Squires, and this is the Couchers Podcast episode number 199. And my guest, Rob Clores. Rob has spent the bulk of his career behind the keyboard playing for a bunch of different folks like Jesse Malin. Apparently, Tom Jones, I just saw on his Wikipedia. I don't know how I didn't ask him about that. He's played with the Black Crows, John Popper, a number of folks, a bunch of other folks. Killer player. Really excited about having him play keys on an upcoming Couch Riffs video, which is in the works. But recently, and by recently I mean in the last 2 years, uh, he has started a music project called Second Meltdown, where he's singing and playing guitar. It's all like hard rock with killer harmonies. If you're a fan of King's X, the Beatles, or Alice in Chains, you should check it out. It's very, very cool. Just last week, he released a song called Big Game Hunting. There's also a great video for that was released. And over the last year and a half, he's released an EP and a number of other singles. You can look forward to a full length from him next year. I had a great time talking with Rob. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Um, I'm using this new service for capturing the video. So let me know what you think about the way this looks and sounds also, because it's a completely different setup and a completely different way of capturing uh, all of the audio and video. So thank you so much for watching. If you are enjoying the Couchriffs podcast, please support us at Patreon, patreon.com/couchriffs. Your support goes directly towards things like this, things that hopefully improve the overall quality of the podcast and the video series. I am giving the website a facelift right now, which I needed help with. I could not do by myself. The next year it'll get a complete rebuild with hopefully a bunch of extra stuff, a bunch of weird stuff, and that I'm really excited about. And recently put out my solo record through the Couch Riffs record label. So your support goes towards all of this stuff. Thank you so much. I very, very much appreciate it. I also like to thank Variety Coffee Roasters in Brooklyn, New York, varietycoffeeroasters.com. Go check out their subscription service. I'll ask you a bunch of questions, try and get to the bottom of what coffee on their menu you are most going to enjoy, and then they will send you coffee weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. That's pretty awesome. I drink Variety every morning, no bullshit, and I love it. So I'm not going to recommend. I'm never going to recommend any bullshit here that I'm not really into, that I don't actually endorse. Okay, so there's that. Also, it's the only place where you can get a Couchriffs coffee mug, and they're $10 if you go to their swag drop-down menu, or if you add that to your shopping cart and buy 2 bags of coffee from their website. At checkout, use the code Couchriffs, all one word, and you're going to get that mug for free. That's pretty sweet. Thank you, Variety Coffee Roasters. I fucking love you. So we're going to get into the episode now. Thank you so much for listening, sharing, commenting, leaving reviews. All of that stuff really helps. There's a lot of stuff out there, and it's hard to reach people. And there's a host of things I don't understand that make you visible to new listeners. And so all those things that I mentioned are going to help me a lot. So thank you. I really, really, really appreciate it. Don't forget the golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated. That is not that hard. It's not that hard to not be an asshole, even when you feel compelled. Because it's capturing locally, we won't experience any of that in the final product. That's what they promise, at least.
Okay.
Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you, Mike.
It's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
We met very briefly one time. I don't know. I don't think that you would remember. It was very short in passing. What is that? The barbecue joint in Brooklyn.
Oh, yes, that was the place called. I'll think of it in a minute. But yes, it was a barbecue joint that was around for a while. We were doing weekly mule kick
Yeah,
gigs.
that's exactly correct.
Um, yes, and yeah. That was fun. Did you sit in, or were you just?
No, nobody invites me to do anything. That's why I had to start doing this.
Oh,
I mean, under the pressure of like, hey, want to just jump up and do, I just want to celebrate or some shit like that. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
would, I would fold. I'm one of these guys that's like, cram for the test, and then
yeah.
what you see on Couchers, I'm typically playing at the capacity of my abilities, while everyone else is on cruise control.
I like to rehearse too.
They say practice makes perfect. Do you think so?
Yeah. I think it helps. Yes, I definitely think it helps.
There are, I mean, for band situation, of course, but there are groups of individuals that can get together and just make a beautiful racket without rehearsing, and I don't
Well,
understand that entirely.
yeah. I mean, I'm down with that. I mean, it's unfortunately it's been a long time since I put myself in that scenario. Well, of course, everybody has had a hard it's been a long time you know but people are getting together now and stuff, but
Why?
yeah,
Something did something weird happen?
I'd like to do that. Yeah. Did you hear did you hear about it?
I missed that. Yeah, I missed it.
You've just been in the studio for the last year.
Man.
You're
I got really lucky because I moved upstate 3 years ago. Just the other day was the third year anniversary of buying this house, and
awesome.
I've sort of got
You're a
the
hermit.
wheels moving before everything happened. So I still had a lot to figure out, to get up to speed, but I didn't really skip a beat.
Well, I guess that was good timing. You must have sensed that there was going to be a global problem and you needed to isolate in the woods.
By the end of this conversation, you'll realize I don't have a lot of sense in that manner. You'll you'll regret that
Well, you're
statement.
lucky because it was luck then. It was just some, you know, energy in the universe that was
Could be.
telling you, and you're intuitive.
Well, you know what it is. I I moved to New York when I got married, and my wife loves the city. Although now that we're out, she appreciates being able to visit the city.
All right,
Have a tiny, tiny rent controlled apartment in Brooklyn still, but you
that's
know,
great.
the reason we're up here is because I wasn't getting on with the city. I miss it now, of course. Grass is always greener. But where are you from?
Well, I'm from New Jersey, a town called Leonia, which is right by the George Washington Bridge, which is right across from Upper Manhattan. So I grew up there, and it was a nice place to grow up because it was a suburban town, but yet like literally 2 miles from Upper Manhattan, Washington Heights. So I could get the excitement of the city when I wanted it. Um, that's where I'm from, and I never really left the general vicinity of the New York metropolitan area because after living in Manhattan and Brooklyn for a bunch of years, I'm been back in Jersey. I'm in Jersey City, which is kind of the same distance to Manhattan, but it's lower Manhattan. So yeah, it's a little more chill here, but I still have New York City very close.
And you could just take the train right in.
Yes.
Uh, and Jersey City is, I mean, I've been over there a bit. It's basically like Brooklyn.
Yes, it's very part. Yes, it's very similar. Yes, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I've just been here, and I mean, I used to travel a lot, and so that kind of was exciting and it was good to the change of scenery was good, but
Sure.
But yeah, but I'm still here.
Did you ever think about leaving?
I did. I've always wanted to go to Los Angeles. You know, I have good friends there, and you know, music scene. I always wanted to check it out, but then, you know, life gets complicated. You know, I have
Then every summer they have fires.
well, yeah, no, well, yeah, that's a drag. But personally, I have two daughters now, so just to uproot everybody would be like, a bit of a effort.
It wouldn't be the same as doing it 20 years ago.
Exactly. But
Gotcha.
but it's cool. I'm kind of I'm doing a lot of what I want to do, and LA is a great place to visit.
It's a wonderful place to visit. I thought about living there a couple times too, but I just could never pull the trigger, man.
Yeah, it was a little. It's a different lifestyle, definitely. To
Right.
here it's like you zip around on a train, and you're or a short cab ride, and you're in New York, and it's pretty convenient. But Los Angeles certainly has a lot of great um,
Do
great
you
things.
own a vehicle or have you ever owned a vehicle living here?
Yeah. I have a car.
You do.
Yeah, yeah.
What a pain in the ass.
It is, and it was a pain in the ass having a car in Manhattan, and it is kind of a pain in the ass here as well. Yeah, it is. It is
You
kind
had
of.
one when you lived in Manhattan, in the city.
Yeah, and
Wow.
it was expensive and it was a pain, but because then I used to whatever do gigs and drive to Jersey.
Right. Uh, when did you when did you decide that music was going to be your your life? I mean, it's you've been doing it a long time. You're still doing it, and I imagine you're
Yeah.
not going to quit.
No, not well, not at this point. I guess I don't know. Uh, no, I'm not going to quit. But I guess
It's good to keep your
I
options open.
it's always good to keep your options open and never say never. But I made the decision long ago, and just kind of gigged around the city for many years, and then I started touring, and just then got into the composition, which I do quite a lot in recent years. But um, yeah, it was sort of a no brainer that that's what I would do, because you have to work hard at something in life, and I figured that I would work hard at this. So that's what I tell my daughters as well.
How's that working?
Ah, it's so far so good.
Good.
I'm optimistic.
Good. Are are they playing music yet? Are they do they show any interest?
Yeah, actually, my older daughter, she's 17, unbelievably, and she's a classical composer, and so she has a audition for Boston Conservatory and
Oh,
Berkeley,
wow.
and all that stuff. So yeah, she's kind of the apple kind of fell close to the tree here, and so I'm very encouraging, very excited for her,
That's
and
amazing.
yeah.
When did you start playing music?
Sorry.
When did you start playing music?
Oh, well, I started when I was quite young, probably in the single digits, 6, 7. I took like classical piano lessons.
Was it Suzuki method or what?
No, I just had some teachers. Some I used to go to Manhattan, and I had some really good teachers, and yeah, and then I started branching out into other kinds of music. I discovered the blues, I discovered rock, then I discovered jazz when I was in my teens, and took some lessons jazz school, and but I always wanted to play, rock music and pop music, um, and that's pretty much what I did for that's what I do for my career. But yeah, I started young, and I had like a wide range of musical influences, from like obviously classical, but you know my mom used to take me to like the opera and like to Broadway, and my dad was into jazz and the blues and like country, like George Jones and stuff, and so I
Did
had a,
they
had
did
a
they
lot
play music, or was it one of those?
uh,
Did
um,
they
uh,
did they
yeah.
play music?
Yeah, my dad did, and actually his father did as well. Not professionally, but they played piano, guitar. My grandfather played saxophone and mandolin, and so yeah, there was always music around the family. It was a kind of a musical family.
Do you think that it used that music in the home, like music performance in the home, used to be more common?
I used to be more common. I mean, than it is now. I don't know. Uh,
I'll bet if you work the statistics, like before televisions were affordable for every home,
Good point.
uh, I'll bet music was a lot more common.
That's an excellent point. Yes, before technology ruled our lives,
Right.
you probably, yeah, that's exactly right. You probably sat around the piano or the guitar. There was probably that's probably true.
Uh, so was it you that had asserted yourself and said, "I want to play the piano," or did they choose the piano for you to start with?
Well, my dad played piano, so he used to play and sing in those days, and I was drawn to it. So yeah, I started picking out things at the piano when I was really young, and yeah, and then he just got me some lessons, and I got into it. Uh, Practicing wasn't my favorite, but when I finished a piece and was able to perform it, it gave me a lot of satisfaction with the family, and then at school, I could play whatever, like a Chopin or a Scott Joplin, and it gave me satisfaction, and so I guess it was encouraging, and which led me to continue.
It's kind of like chasing the dragon a little bit. you
Yeah.
That first feeling, like you learn that first song and that feeling of explosive happiness, and then a life of chasing that happy feeling.
That that's very true. Yes, it's a life of chasing that happy feeling. That's exactly right.
uh,
Profound.
so if you do a web search for Rob Clores,
Yes.
it says keyboard, like keyboardist, pianist, composer. But when did you pick up the guitar?
Well, I've always loved the guitar. Uh, I've always loved it. But I picked it up initially probably about 20 years ago, and uh, I started learning it, and but yeah, but most of my work was obviously playing keyboards, and at the time I didn't want. I did a few gigs where I had to play keyboards and I had to play guitar, and I just felt very awkward about that. So uh, and then just for a bunch of years it was just all about keyboards. It was all about touring, and I just kind of put the guitar down. But later in life, like a couple of years ago, I wanted to make a record, and just everything that I wanted to do is just guitar based. Uh, I'm into rock music. I'm into that kind of music.
Right.
uh, uh, so I just started writing. I just started writing songs that were guitar based, and I got back into it, and I sucked on guitar, which was kind of refreshing and fun. But I really enjoyed the process uh, of
Now hold on a second.
my.
Are you playing the solos on those recordings that I'm
No,
hearing? I
no,
was gonna say because you
no,
do not suck on the
no,
guitar.
no, 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 no. I can play rhythm. I can, but no, I'm not a very good soloist. So I just had a little help from my friends on on all that stuff.
Got it.
Yeah, yeah, it's just so cool. When you have just amazing, uh, your friends are amazing um, um, players, and you can just call in a favor, or
It's nice to have a pool of talent.
yeah, throw them a few bucks. Hey, I need a solo on this song.
Uh, well, I've been listening to everything that's available on Spotify this week, and it's
Cool.
great.
Oh, thank you so much,
And
man.
there's a new. I heard also watched the new video, or I heard it on your private Bandcamp link you sent me. I think it's
Yeah,
private. It's not out, right?
it's not out yet, but it's going to be out very soon. I'm excited about it. Big Game Hunting is the new single from my project, Split Second Meltdown.
And you've been doing that for almost 2 years.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. My EP came out like about a year and a half ago, and yeah, I've just been writing and just coming out with a couple of singles here and there. But yeah, I'm excited about this one. It's a bit more maybe poppy than my other effort last year. So I'm excited about it.
There's. Did you self-produce this?
I did.
It sounds great. The vocal arrangements are super.
Oh, cool.
Um, I should thank Lauren Behrman for reintroducing us. He
Yes, absolutely.
he mentioned Alice in Chains esque, and when I listened to it, I was like, I don't know. I mean, it's hard rock and it's melodic, and I feel like that's where the parallels stop. I mean, there's harmonies, and nice, really great melodies. I would. Are you a fan of King's X?
I am. Yes,
I
yes.
hear King's X in there, and that's some of the highest praise I can give a band.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. I love those guys. You know. Yeah, 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 yeah. King's X. All those guys sing, and they got great harmonies, and it's and they're yeah, yeah. And their music is raw and heavy, and it rocks. But thank you. Yeah, and Alice in Chains is a big influence. I love I love Queens of the Stone Age. I mean, I wish I could sing like those guys. And I mean, I love Soundgarden. I really love this, like the '90s rock, you know bands like all those guys, Soundgarden and Alice in Chains and STP and all of them.
Uh,
I I love that. I love that sound, but I mean, I primarily play keys, so I'm still working on a sound. I feel always trying to incorporate keyboards into the into heaviness. I mean, Trent Reznor is awesome, and so many people are great. And they're um, just they're such an influence. Just trying, and like I was saying, just trying to I'm trying to integrate as many keyboards as I can along with a heavy rock sound.
When you're adding keys, are you going traditional, or do you lean into more modern sounds? It seems like with rock music, you like organ, Rhodes, maybe Moogs, and outside of that, it starts to maybe go into. I think the Cars did it really well, right?
They
They made
absolutely.
that was a pretty incredible mashup of influences that they drew from.
Yeah, and it was rock and it was pop. Yeah, I was big into the Cars. Um, yeah, who's that? Greg Hawkes was a keyboard player. Yeah, I mean, growing up, I, I mean, I love Deep Purple, of course, but like the John Paul Jones. I mean, with that, I mean,
Dude.
the keyboard arrangements. Led Zeppelin, obviously Pink Floyd, and I mean the Beatles had great keyboards. You know, so uh, yeah, all those people were big influences on me growing up.
Growing up, when did you start your first band, or when did you join your first band?
Um, I was probably I was probably 14 or 15, and I think it was a cover band, and I actually remember playing a car song. That was one of the covers, and I think we did like a "Won't Get Fooled Again," and I don't remember the other songs. Maybe some Eric Burden and the Animals songs, and
Some
I
Farfisa.
wasn't the singer back then, although I think I might have sang the Cars song, but I mostly left the vocal duties up to the singer at the time. So yeah, 14. I was probably 14 or 15.
As a, and this is like, you're probably my age or maybe younger. I'm 50 this month, and
Congratulations.
thank you. That
Yes.
next month.
All right. Yeah. Yes. I'm a little older. I'm 54.
So back then, we didn't have the technology that we have today. You couldn't just have like a, what's that big red keyboard that everyone has?
Yeah. I got a few of those red keyboards. Yes. Lord.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They have incredible sounds in them. Back then, it's like you had to have an organ, you had to have a Rhodes, you had to have a synth.
Yeah. I had to have some really heavy instruments. I
Uh,
mean, you know,
as a
heavy.
young player, how did you manage that? You just got by with sounds that weren't quite what you were looking for? Or
Eh,
did you
Yeah.
achieve that?
Um, well, yeah, that would have been the early, maybe the early '80s, right? So, um, um, I actually like, I think one of my first keyboards was a Moog, a Poly Moog, so that kind of had some cool sounds in it. But like I remember when um, I think another keyboard I used was well, yeah, the Juno came out, the Juno 6, and then the Oberheim Matrix 6 probably came out at the same time as the DX7, and I hated the DX7. I did not buy that. I guess we're talking mid '80s by that point, like '85 or something like that. '84. I hated the DX7. I was very unpopular because everyone had a DX7, and I just was like, this thing. I wasn't down with it. Even though I was using a Oberheim Matrix 6, which was DCOs, digital oscillators. It sounded to me better than the Yamaha DX7.
Did you ever turn the corner on that?
No,
You still hate it.
I never bought one. No. But yeah, I think back then my first band, I think I was using the Polymoog, which was kind of cool because it was a Moog.
Sure.
But yeah, like the Prophet 5 was too expensive, man. That was like $3,000 then, 3 or 4 grand then, and I didn't have $3,000.
In the 80s, 3 grand. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
think I,
like 10 grand.
I didn't spend 3 grand on a car until
Yeah,
a
yeah,
few years ago.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was like I couldn't afford that shit. I mean, I think like you know, I mean, I remember the Matrix 6 was probably a little bit pricey, but I think I used my paper route money,
Right.
and I used to mow lawns and stuff like that. So I got I scraped it up.
Did you do music post high school? Did you do any music education?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, yeah. Actually, I was mentioning earlier, I went to jazz school. So I actually went to the Manhattan School of Music because I didn't know what else to do, and I figured, well, I'll go to music school. So I got into music school, and I had a really good jazz teacher, and I learned the language of jazz, which is it's harmonically, it's a great thing to learn. But I knew that that's not what I where I wanted to go. But it was just on my journey. I just took a little jazz detour.
Did you live in the city while you were going to school, or were you able to commute from home? Because that would
Yeah, I
make a
was.
big difference as a student.
Yeah, I was able to commute because the school in Manhattan was Upper Manhattan, and I was like
Oh yeah.
pretty close to that. I mean, looking back, I wish that I had lived in the city. Like that's why I'm going to kick my daughter out when she's 18. She can't live at home.
Right. I think, yeah, it's probably good to take the training wheels off, right? I mean, you're going
Yeah,
to have a more immersive experience
yeah, 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 yeah.
and nurture independence.
I probably would have gotten into probably some more bad stuff if I had been out, at 18. But it probably would have been fun, and I'm sure there would have been a lot of good stuff too.
Well, with any luck, I mean, if I would have gotten into all the trouble I was ever going to get into, and you know, that when I was 18, that would have been great. I would have saved a lot of time.
Right, because you get it over with. Yeah, that's some of my friends that used to do a lot of drugs and drinking when they're 18, and then they just stopped. They got it out of their system.
Right.
Um, you know, but
I wasn't so lucky.
no, I did all that stuff in my 20s, but then I got it out of my system
Good.
by my 30s.
Good for you. I'm fully retired now, but
Yeah, yeah, I'm a lightweight now as far as drinks go.
it's hard as you get older, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Everything changes, and you can't keep up with the young guys, and you don't want to.
Right. Uh, so were there any interesting gigs that came from that time jazz gigs that came from schooling?
Uh, no, I just used to just play around town, I think. But yeah, I mean, I didn't really play too many jazz gigs out, except for if it was like solo piano gigs. That's how I made money in my early 20s. I used to play solo piano, and I used to do some jazz and stuff like that, like in hotels and like restaurants. It was actually made some good coin. I filled my gas tank up, and I mean, all my money went to gas and car repairs
Right.
anyway. Early 20s, but it was good. It was good practice, and I could do it. I could do it on my own. But no, no. I mean, I don't really. I was trying to branch out by that time anyway. So no good jazz gigs. I started playing in bands again, and that's really what I wanted to do is play.
So you've
Play the
had
rock.
some great gigs, and
Yeah.
walk me through the sort of the transition from that period where you're driving around and doing these solo piano gigs to where you are getting for hire gigs and going out on the road.
Yeah. Well, um, I guess I first started touring with some bands when, yeah, I was in my 20s. Just, just bands that were a little rootsy rock sort of bands, and we would do little tours down to Nashville and stuff like that. Nashville was pretty boring back in those days. It's not
Yeah.
boring now. Uh, it's the opposite of boring, I guess. Uh, Although it's not New York,
No, it is not.
but it's fun. You can have fun in Nashville now. More fun than like 30 years ago.
Even
Um,
20 years.
Even 20 years, yes. So yeah, so I would do that, and then I tried to be uh a member of a band, and we got some good gigs, like uh opening up for big bands, and so I did that for a while. Like we opened for like uh Blues Traveler and Lenny Kravitz on the Horde tour and stuff like that. But like probably around that time though, like some of my friends were getting like really good gigs, like with Lenny Kravitz, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I want to do stuff. Maybe I want to play with, like, I'm going to travel in style. I don't want to travel in a van anymore.
Once you get a taste of it, it's pretty hard to go backwards too.
Yeah, you see your friends get in the tour bus, and then you're getting in, like, a box truck, and it's like, I'm getting
Right.
a little old for this box truck.
Driving till 3 in the morning, getting a room, sleeping for 4 or 5 hours, and
Yeah.
then yeah.
Yeah. I pay, yeah. But yeah, traveling, I was traveling with a B3 at that point, and a Wurlitzer, and I also had to carry the B3, so
Right.
it was some paying of the dues.
This is a good workout moving that thing around.
It it it, it really was. But not after the gig though. It was very, very, very difficult at the end of the gig. It was much easier before the gig.
So wait a minute, you never owned a car, you owned a minivan.
Well, it was the band's truck.
But I
Yeah, it
mean
was.
as your commuter because you had to move around.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't take the B3 to local gigs. I mean, at that point, if I was with this particular band, they had the truck, so then we can move the B3. But if it was another gig, I would just lug my Wurlitzer around, which wasn't that heavy.
Is this band a band that people are familiar with? Do you
Um, I don't think so. I mean, it's a band called a Psycho Moto Goat that was around in like 96, 97, and it was kind of a grungy psychedelic band. Uh, and it was fun. But no, I mean, I don't think anybody knows the band, or remembers the band. It was just, you know, a weird band.
Did you guys have a deal? Did you make record? How'd you get on
Yeah,
that tour?
yeah. There was like a deal of sorts. There was records being made. There was some tour support. But it was pretty
Right.
pretty you know
Even when bands are out on tours like that, I think people are probably more aware today of what it's like to go on tour. Like uh, music fans, not musicians. No musician knows what it's like to be on tour now. Um,
yeah.
I mean, 7 musicians know. Um, but back then, if someone saw you on a big stage like that, they just thought, "Oh, they made it."
Right,
And the
right.
first time you probably played on a big stage like that, you probably thought you did too.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, this is great. Oh, but I didn't make any money. But hey, I played on this big stage.
And then fast forward 20 years and some things never change. It's
Yeah, yeah.
incredible. Uh, le-
But that actually, that band Psycho Motogo was actually, we were actually friends with John Popper from Blues Traveler,
okay.
and so when John Popper decided to do his first solo record in 1999, he hired most of that band.
Huh.
So so that was actually kind of the first taste of a budget. He had a big record deal.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Did you know Fish, not the band PH, but Fish, the tour manager?
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
He tour managed me on my very first tour.
Okay. Yes. Yes. I do. I did know him. Yes.
Um he's passed, you know. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um
Really. Yes, I do. Yeah, I haven't thought about him in a long time, actually. But yes, yeah, but that was kind of my first taste. Bus budget. David Letterman show. Jay Leno show, and it kind of put me more on the map. Like
right.
as far as with the local New York City scene, like people were like, oh, there's Rob. He's
Right.
playing with a big name. I mean, the John Popper's album probably flopped, but it was a really good experience. And
How long were you guys out supporting their record?
I think it was just some kind of a fall tour, and in 1999, and then I think we had a gig in the year, New Year's Eve to 1999, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which everybody remembers that because it was a big scare that all like the computers
Y2K.
would crash. Yeah. And like we were playing in like Reno, and I remember like John Popper got like a huge guarantee. I mean, it was like it was a lot of money. And I just remember not a lot of people showed up
They were
to
scared.
people were scared.
I think that was that year was sort of the beginning of the end of good New Year's Eve gigs.
I felt that way. Yes.
I think I've only played 2 New Year's Eve gigs since then, and none of them have been killer. Not that, you know.
Yeah. 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 It was just well, for me as well. I kind of felt like after that, I think I did a couple New Year's Eve gigs, but it was just always kind of like,
People and their fears. It's amazing.
yeah.
That was a big deal. I remember that was the first big modern age media fucking fear blitz.
Yeah, and now it happens every month, and everybody's scared of everything.
Now I feel like it happens every week. There's a new
Well,
thing to
yeah,
be terrified
all,
about.
all the time. But people are scared. If it rains too much, they get scared. I know that.
But use this shampoo and buy this CBD and
Yeah.
try this diet. I don't know.
That's crazy. But
So what a wonderful time to be alive.
it's not boring. You have a lot of information to wade through, or not. It's nice. I enjoy turning off my phone and just being, unattached to the onslaught of social media and just phone calls and stuff like that. But
so what came after the fall tour with John?
okay, well, actually, at the same time, I was playing with Chris Barron of the Spin Doctors, and those guys were the New York guys, and they were kind of they kind of came up at the same time. They kind of had their success at the same time, and I had a band with Chris, and so I did a bunch of stuff with him after that, and just a bunch of
He seems great, by the way. I follow him on social media, and he seems great. I always
he's
liked
great.
his voice, and I liked their songs. The very first Couchers video that I did was Two Princes.
Cool.
That was maybe the third one.
Okay.
I did, and it was all like sales reps from different, because it kind of sounds a little bit like what if you go to NAMM It sounds like what people are playing in the booths. You know, there's a
Yeah.
like that kind. They're like there's like a piccolo snare and
Yeah. Yeah.
some fast tight drumming, and there's some slap bass, and
Yeah.
it's pretty nammy. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I thought that was clever on my
It
part. No,
is.
nobody seemed to care.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, those guys have a sound, and they, you know, and they, you know, they're still touring to this day.
Still going.
But yeah, so yeah, I did Chris Barron, and then I just kind of played with just a bunch of other people. Then I started playing with Colin Hay. He's really talented, and then
You think?
and yeah,
One of the greatest voices, one of the greatest contemporary voices.
yeah, yeah, he's got a great sound, and he's a great songwriter, and he's yeah, he's pretty badass, Colin Hay. I was playing with him, and then I met Rich Robinson, and I was in his band for a while, which was cool because you know rootsy rock is kind of what I always wanted to, kind of what I was doing, you know, rootsy rock.
I really like his solo records. It's you see the his like strange guitar tunings and chord voicings really work themselves out without the influence of anything else. You know,
Yeah,
obviously it's like his complete voice or whatever, and then uh, it's strangely like almost kind of Beatlesy,
yeah, yeah.
like
I
his
mean,
melodies and stuff.
yeah. He's very melodic. I love his guitar sounds. You know, he's always got great gear, great sounds. You know, and that yeah. And then playing with Rich led to audition with the Black Crows, and I auditioned for them, and I played with those guys for like a year, and that was an experience. It was pretty thrilling actually because I always really liked their songs, especially the first few records. It was really fun to play those songs. So that was you know, that was a highlight for sure.
Southern Harmony, I would say, is a top 5 record for me, probably.
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love that record, and Amorica. I was always a fan of that record.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a thrilling, you know, you know, chapter in my career, just because I've always, you know, I really liked their music, and then to actually play with them was I mean, it was pretty nerve wracking. Just the whole experience, just because I only had a couple weeks to learn like 100 original, 96 originals, and like 30 covers, and there was no rehearsal. The rehearsal was the sound check.
Is that
So
right?
yeah. I mean, it was a bit easier. You know, I think I had a bit easier time maybe than Paul Stacy, who also had no rehearsal because their guitar player left a few days before the tour, Mark Ford. So, but still, it was. I mean, you know, it was pretty nerve wracking, but you know, I got through it.
And as far as I mean, as a roots rock fan, that's kind of the top of the mountain
Yeah, sure.
for
You're up there.
contemporary bands.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was that was a cool experience for sure. You know, but I always really liked you know, I always like electronic stuff. You know, like you know your you know Trent Reznor and you know Marilyn Manson. Like I like you know music that's heavier as well. So I always was kind of in my head. I was always like, how can I, how can I play in a band where I could play like you know some synths too, and you know,
So when the 90s came along, after, because you started playing in the 70s,
well, let's not go that far.
if you were 6.
Well, oh yes, sure.
Uh, so when the 90s came along and there was just like, there was genuinely heavy keyboard based music. That must have been like especially exciting for you.
Yeah, I mean, but I think this the I mean definitely but the well yeah Black Crowes had keyboards, but I mean I think like the bands that I really listened to did not have keyboards. Like like I remember going to see like Alice in Chains and like Soundgarden and I was really into them.
I think Soundgarden in particular would have benefited from a keyboardist.
Sure. I mean, Chris Cornell's solo stuff has keyboards in it, and it works really well. I mean, not all the stuff, but there are keyboard textures and some of his solo material.
They also were not afraid of odd meters, which I noticed that you embraced.
Oh yeah, yeah. I went through a period of time when I just couldn't stop writing in seven. Just everything that came to me.
I think that it's cool and it's an interesting time signature.
Absolutely.
It's not so weird, it doesn't have to feel like Rush,
Right.
right? Not that there's anything wrong with Rush. I love Rush, but sometimes those time signatures feel a little bit unapproachable.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I think so. I don't think it's, it's not as common, obviously, as like four.
Right. What do you think the most popular odd meter song is in popular
rock
culture?
music?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean that's a hard one. I mean, I don't know. Do you know? I mean, I know that there, like you said, there's some Soundgarden songs that are in odd meters.
Rusty Cage is in an
you
odd
mean
meter,
contemporary? You mean the last like like since the 90s or like ever?
right? I mean, when I talk about contemporary, who am I kidding? I think that 20-year-old records are still new.
Oh yeah, it's true. I mean, the Beatles wrote.
Did they have any odd meter songs?
So, yeah, they did. Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
not Taxman. One of
those
songs had a weird bridge, right? From
Oh,
Revolver.
but all you need is love. Love, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Love.
Yeah.
There we go. And then it went, all you need is love. Went to 4.
What a fucking remarkable band.
Fucking Beatles, man. Amazing, right? I mean, I'm working with a guy now who talks about the Beatles like every day, and I'm like, dude, I love the Beatles, but I know they're great, man, but every day, give me a break, please. I said that actually today. I was in the studio with this guy. He's like, but the Beatles did this, and I'm like, yes, I know.
Yeah, they did it a long time ago.
Yeah, but
here's the thing: when you put their records on and listen, fuck, the proof is in the pudding.
Oh yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, and they were recording on like a stove. No,
right.
That's not. But I mean, it was a mixing console that looked like some kind of appliance.
I mean, they recorded all those bits. They weren't like comping multiple parts. It wasn't like that.
No, they just like laid it down.
What do you think about young people calling things genius that are only like passably good? Because people throw that word around a lot.
I mean, I've always thought. I mean, people have always thrown that word around, and probably at an early age, I was like, the genius of Ray Charles. Well, okay, he can have that title,
sure.
But yeah, you see these, everybody's a genius. I mean, I think
they are literally a genius.
I think
off.
I think it's overused. I think there are extremely talented people out there, but there are geniuses out there. Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. I mean,
Do you think
but
that there is a level of genius that is not necessarily communicated in or displayed in technical ability, but in someone's ability to communicate in multiple settings?
absolutely. I'm not. Um, uh, uh, I'm not going to name names because I'm not good at thinking of things off the top of my head. But yeah, there's so many talented people out there that can you know I don't know. I mean, somebody who can who's so prolific and can sing, can dance like Prince, or
Right.
you know, maybe, yeah. Okay, I just named a name. Maybe
Prince is probably musical genius.
Prince, or I mean, uh, or yeah. I mean, there's so many. There's so many really talented people out there. Quincy Jones, would you call him a genius? Maybe, yeah.
Quincy Jones' brother married me and my wife.
Really?
He's a Supreme Court judge in Seattle, Washington.
Oh, that is so cool.
That's a family driven by career goals. He's a great dude. I never met Quincy,
Oh, that's cool.
but that'd probably be pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you got to meet him soon, man. That's the thing. Yeah, yeah.
Do you think
Nothing
Michael Jackson was a musical genius?
I think he was really talented.
We don't have to talk about any of the other stuff. I don't want to talk
Of
about
course
any of the
not.
other stuff.
No.
But have you
No,
heard
man.
the demos for Thriller? Because they're
Yeah,
fucking bananas.
yeah. I mean, he came up with a lot of stuff. Yeah, very, very talented person.
The demos
Absolutely.
that Quincy had nothing to do with were already fucking killer.
That's true. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. All that's great. Yeah, yeah.
When I heard that, it kind of like folded my mind in because I was expecting to hear some foot stomps and claps and him whistling melodies and this kind
No,
of
he was.
thing, you know.
Yeah, he
Woo.
was supremely talented. No doubt. Michael Jackson was very, very talented.
Do you have a dream gig? Like is there a dream gig that exists for you now? Like
Oh,
if it just like dropped out of the sky, you'd be like heaven on earth.
oh man. I mean, uh, I'd love to work with Trent Reznor. I'd love to work with I'd love to work with Dave Grohl. Uh, I did, I
Oh, does
did,
he have a band still?
yeah, yeah,
I didn't realize
yeah,
he
yeah.
played
I
music
mean,
still.
yeah, I really like what he does. I really like him. I
He's
love what he does. I love his energy. I don't know,
It's
man.
impossible to dislike that guy. He's a little unavoidable, but
Yeah.
he's done me a couple of real like solids,
Oh, yeah. I
and
Oh, that's
I've
cool.
never heard about him. No, like no one's mad at Dave Grohl.
Yeah. I met him once. It was many, many years ago, uh, at some MTV Music Awards, and he was so nice. And he was like, "Come and party with the band later."
Yeah,
And 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 I just met the guy, and I kind of regret. No, I still regret it. It's like 20 years later, and I was like, "Oh, I can't." Because I have to go with these people that I'm playing with, and this and that. And I wound up having a terrible time, and there was a rainstorm, and I was in some weird house with it was a bizarre scene, and then there was a blackout, and I got into a huge fight with my new wife, and I was like, damn, man,
I could have been
I
partying with
could
the
have
Foo Fighters.
partied with Dave Grohl and the band. And like it still bothers me to this day. I really hope that I'll get to, just say hi to him again sometime.
Did you also play that night?
I I did. I was playing with this other band, and they were there, and uh,
You
uh,
do a lot of this other band talk. Are those moments that you don't want to mention the bands out loud?
I mean, I did
That
have a period of
I
time
respect that.
yeah, well, I did have a period of time when I was just playing with these like kind of pop bands, and I wasn't really into it, but like my friends were playing with them, and it was good money and stuff, so I just kind of like went along.
Why not?
But let's get back to the dream gig.
Yeah. Let's do that.
I don't know, man. I mean, I just want to play rock and roll, and I'm into, I play the organ, I play synths, I play a bit. I play rhythm guitar.
There are a lot of gigs out there for a guy as talented as you.
Yeah, yeah,
We got the Who is still touring. We got the
that's true.
Stones are touring.
Oh yeah. The
I
Stones.
mean, we got these two bands. I love that meme that's going around that's like, hey, look, the Who needs a bassist and a drummer, and look, the Beatles are only a bassist
Oh
and a
yes,
drummer. It's
yeah.
fucking great.
That's hysterical.
I wonder if they. I mean, I'm sure that they've seen it, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
it's not like a political cartoon that stays regional anymore. It's not the 1700s.
No, that's true. Oh
People,
yeah, I'm sure they saw it. I'm sure they got a kick out of it. But yeah, man, I'm not done yet. I would like to go on tour with, like, a band that excites me, some rock band, and that uh, you know that I don't have to fly, around the world in the back of the plane, and you know I just got to
uh,
put it out there. But
who are the other big bands that like the Killers? They have a utility guy.
oh yeah, utility guy, yeah,
You
the
know, the
Killers.
Killers. You got
Yeah, you got Green Day. They got an organ guy. They got yeah. I kind of know that guy a little bit. I mean, through friends.
is it Jason Freeze
You know, um, who the guy that I know?
on in Green Day playing
Oh,
keys?
I forgot who. No, it's the guy. It's it's the brother of a famous drummer.
Yeah, Jason Freeze.
Oh yeah.
Josh Freeze's brother.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Freeze. Sorry. I
Yeah.
couldn't. Yes, it is. Yes. Yeah, I almost met him one time at uh, I think he was at Billy Joe Armstrong's New Year's Eve party, but somehow we didn't talk.
I swear this happened. I don't know. But do you know did Billy Joe grow a beard at one point?
Like he must have. I don't know. I mean,
Most
uh,
men that are capable of growing a
why not?
beard grow one
Why
at
not?
some point.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
I
yeah. I've been enjoying my beard I've had for a couple of years now.
This is my first beard in a long time, but I was at when I lived in Carroll Gardens,
Oh yeah.
my gym was just like at the end of my block, and I was in there and I'm on the elliptical, and fucking Billy Joe Armstrong walked in. Now
Oh really?
I know
Out Gardens.
he's got a
Maybe his
place in
brother
the
was
city.
there.
He's
Yeah.
got a place in the city.
Yeah.
I've been there, but I never, I never seen him with a beard. I swear, big beard, way bigger than ours.
Oh wow. Really?
Yeah, which
Uh,
seemed really weird.
oh, Mike,
Maybe I was imagining it.
I know what my dream gig is.
Tell me.
I know what my dream gig is. Okay. Okay. It's when Dave Grohl starts his solo project.
There you
I
go.
want to do that.
Why not?
Okay, that's my dream gig that I'm inventing. I'm inventing I'm inventing that gig. It doesn't exist yet, or does it? Or, I don't know. I'm not, but that guy is so cool, and yeah. So when he starts a solo band, I want to to play with Dave Grohl.
You're gonna have to live in LA to do that, probably.
I'll do that.
Yeah, why
I'll go
not?
there right now. I'll go to
Yeah,
LA
fuck
now.
me too. I just wonder if he would be able to get any gigs though. You know?
Dave, he might be able to play a couple of rooms like hotel cafe. He could probably play there.
Right. What about bands that actually exist? Come
Oh
on,
yeah.
there's got to be something.
No. Well, yeah. I mean, I mentioned a few. I mean, I don't know, man.
What
I
about the
mean,
Stereophonics? That band is fucking cool.
oh yeah.
They have keys.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
You know who I
Yeah, they're
liked? I
cool.
liked
They're cool. Or
Soundtrack of Your Life.
oh
Soundtrack of
yeah.
Our Lives. That was a fucking cool band. They never got their due. Good rock band.
I gotta check them out. Honestly, I don't know them.
Did you have not to touch on sore subjects? Did you have anything on the books when the shit hit the fan a year and a half ago? Like, did you have?
Oh, um, yeah. I think I was just doing some. I think yeah. I think I was touring. I was playing with a New York guy named Jesse Malin, and
Oh yeah,
I've done a couple records with him. He's a friend, and yeah, we were supposed to tour, uh, and then the shit hit the fan. Um, So, but then he started doing live streams from his house and a local club. So I did those with him. So I was pretty active during the whole crazy dark time.
right. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I've been pretty busy like this whole time, but you know.
You started your solo. Do we call it a solo project?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. You started your solo project when quarantine hit,
No.
or before.
I started before. I started recording before, but then like when like the like yeah, I actually recorded the first couple of songs on the EP like in January of 2020 in LA, and then when the whole thing hit, I said, "Oh, this is a great time to put it out." And then yeah, the first single, Flesh and Blood, was about the pandemic. So yeah, I just started like immediately writing the lyrics in March and April when really things shut down, and then I had it out by 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 July.
Did you flush? Did you sort of get those ideas down in your home studio and have drums tracked uh, elsewhere? How
I
did you go
did, yeah,
about getting it done?
yeah. I basically had a rough of the song. You know, I played the rough instruments, um, you know, drum programming, guitar, bass, and then I sent it to the guys in LA, and they tracked it in the studio. At least the first two songs that are on the EP, Split Second Meltdown, were done in LA. The last three of the EP were actually done in 2017, 18 in New Jersey with some
Huh.
New Jersey musicians. John DeServio from Black Label Society and Bob Pantella from Monster Magnet, and some and guitar player friends of mine. So yeah, so it's like I already had a few songs, but I wasn't happy with like all of them, so I recorded two new ones in January 2020 with the LA guys, and then I had an EP. I had a 5-song EP, and I felt good to that's really the first time I ever did my own music, and it was really satisfying.
Let's talk about the difference between playing on someone else's project, collaborating, and realizing your own concept from concept to finished product. Because there's great satisfaction in all those things. And there are different kinds of satisfaction, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Do you have a favorite?
Well, I mean, it's really cool to to collaborate on someone else's music and help them, realize what they want as far as sounds, parts, tones. I'm talking about playing keys on someone else's project. I mean, that's really fun. But I mean, I definitely got a lot out of doing my own thing. Uh, it really felt good to be an artist. I felt like that was the first time I was really an artist, and I wanted to do more. I wanted to, you know, find my sound and get better. You know, so they're both satisfying in different ways.
Had had you co-written melodies and lyrics on previous projects, or was it your first like deep dive into this world?
Well, yes, I, I have, uh, I have done that before, but it was really most satisfying to to do my own music and sing my own music, which I'd never done before. Uh, um, yeah, so it kind of got me very excited to do more.
Who mixed the record?
Um, the first three tracks were mixed in New York by Matt Chiarvel. Um, he's a he's a he's a great engineer and mixer producer. A couple of the tracks are mixed by a guy named Nick Hard, who's also really great. And
Great name.
it is, it
Sounds
is,
sounds like he belongs on stage,
yeah, or in like a like a porno flick.
jumping out of a cake.
uh, yeah. Um,
He probably
I,
catches a lot of shit. Do you think
I'm
he had a nickname in high school?
he probably did. Yeah. But
Sorry, Nick.
yeah. So I think for my next my next tracking, I mean, I'd like to just get a band and do it because I've been kind of just working remotely, which is nice, but I'd really like to get the input of the musicians
And the
in
energy.
in the room and the energy. Yeah, I would love to do that, so I'm going to do that. um
Do you have time
Probably.
booked? Is it planned? Do you have
No, I don't have anything booked yet, but I'm hoping in the beginning of the year, maybe, in like the in the you know in the dead of winter here in New York, or maybe I'll go out to L.A. and I'll just do it with my L.A. peeps.
Why not?
Yeah, so I'll go to Venice. What's it called? Mar Vista. I think that's where my friend's studio is. Mar Vista. Does that sound right?
Yeah, it's terribly ugly out there. The beach is terrible, really terrible.
Yeah, it's disgusting out
Sunshine is terrible.
there. Yeah, it's just like too warm and stuff, and I'd much prefer dark, depressing New, New York. Well, I'll write the stuff here, so I can get it. I can get all the dark vibe, and then I'll just go out there
And they'll
and have fun.
mimic it.
Yeah, or you know what? I'd like to. I actually would like to get Mule Kick, my buddies in Mule Kick, who you saw, and Frank Ferrer.
Yeah.
Frank Ferrer's is my homie, and Brett Bass is a fantastic bass player, and Rob Bailey plays guitar. I mean, those guys, I would like to get those guys in the studio. That's kind of hard to do now because Frank lives in the desert uh, in California. But I mean, that is a dream of mine, actually, to get Mule Kick in the studio to work on my record.
It doesn't seem unachievable though. Like Frank comes out here, visits his mom.
That's true.
You just
That's
snag
true.
him for an afternoon and you make magic.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. When he's not on the road, but yeah. I could probably do that. The timing obviously has to. I have to be ready, and then he has to be here and all that stuff. But if not, I love the guys in L.A. Charlie Paxson is a fantastic drummer. He played um, on my new single and the first couple songs of my EP, and Saul Walker is a great bass player, and Jimmy Messer played guitar. So I love those guys too.
Who? What is Jimmy? That's the person that's ripping the leads that I heard on.
No, Jimmy didn't play any leads. He just kind of played rhythm. I had different guys play the leads. Guy from New York, Tony Bruno, played on one song, um, on one of the songs, and then a guy from New Jersey, Ken Dubman, uh,
Oh,
played the solo on another song.
he's been around for years, right? People talk about him
Yeah,
like he is the guy that showed all the guys that everyone knows about what what's up.
I don't know too much about his history, but he is like a New Jersey. He was in a
Legend.
band called Prophet in the '80s, and he's close with Zach Wild, and
No, if you listen to him, you hear like Zach Wild licks, and you're like, oh, that's where he got it,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
the Skid Row guys talk about him, you know.
yeah. I guess he is a legend. I mean, I really only met him like a couple of years ago. I mean, he played that solo, and I didn't know him, and that was done at John DeServio's studio a few years ago, and then I finally met Ken like last year and a half ago, and I started playing in his band, and he's great. But yeah, he played a solo on one of the songs, and Tony Bruno played on Nobody Left But Me. Um, and I think I only have like, I don't know. Ken played on two songs, and then I actually did a cover of Foxy Lady in Seven, which is quite
I
interesting.
loved it.
Oh, you did?
It was pretty bold, I gotta say. When I saw the title, I was like, I wonder if that's gonna be Foxy Lady, because
Yeah. I
there's
mean,
always that thing with the Hendrix cover. Where you're like, fuck, here we
I
go,
know.
you know.
I just went there. I was just like, you know what? I got this idea. Like, I'm just gonna go for it. And then Richard Fortus was kind enough to play guitar, and he killed it.
Pretty
And
good guitarist.
yeah, I don't think too many people have heard that song yet, but or my weird version of it. But I just wanted to do it, and I was a little bit on the fence. Should I do this? This is so weird, and it's like completely different from the awesome original version. But I was like, fuck it.
I thought it was
I'm
great, man.
I'm just
I really, really, really liked it.
Thank you, thank you. I just went for it, and Richard was fantastic, and uh, I, I I owe Richard a lot. Uh, I owe him. We bartered on that track, so I haven't paid back yet, but I'm
You
sure
owe him a keyboard track.
I do. Maybe I owe him a few few tracks, or like multi keys on something. But Richard's cool. I've known him for quite a while.
How many unrecorded songs do you have kicking around?
I I have a few. I mean, I'm a few. How what number is a few? A few is usually like three, but I think I have. I mean, I do have a couple recorded. I have like three that I'm kind of like working on, and um, I'm just trying to think of what how I'm going to arrange it and configure it.
What's that process like? Are you sitting down? Do you have like a particular workplace, or are you just sort of like anywhere at home that you have a guitar? Is it you strumming and working through organically, or is it you plugging a riff into a DAW and then trying to labor over it?
Yeah,
That's my style.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of both. I mean, I have to have a period of time where my head is uncluttered from other people's music because I mostly, work for a living playing other people's music. So I always have other stuff. I'm working on. So I need an uncluttered head. And then an idea will come to me, and I eventually have to either go down and play it on a piano or on a guitar and just get the idea down and the melody down. So yeah, the music comes first. um Song titles come pretty quickly, and then I just really try to work hard on what I want to say. And actually that stopped me for many years of actually writing my own song because I felt like I didn't have a lot to say. But now in my advanced age, I have a lot to say. It comes easier to me now, I suppose.
You grew into your Bob Dylan phase.
Yeah, right. But yeah. Music is first, like a riff or like just a feeling, and then I'll put that down, and then I'll put it away for like a few days or a few weeks, and then I'll come back to it and stuff. So yeah. I have a lot of writing to do if I'm going to record in the dead of winter in February.
What kind are you working on a super simple system like an interface on a laptop at home, or do you have something pretty? Do you have something more sophisticated?
Um, I just have like I just have like an Apollo interface, and like a Mac, and I use Pro Tools to record. I'm making music with that, so that works.
We
A lot
live
of
in the
Logic.
golden age of technology, recording technology. I've got two UA interface. I've got a little bus powered one.
Oh, cool.
Do you know? Have you seen this thing, the Arrow?
Oh, yes.
You can,
Yeah,
if you've got
it's
a full
great.
charge on your computer, you can go to the park and record with no power around.
Oh, wow.
It's
Yeah,
fucking nuts, man.
yeah. It's really fantastic. It's really great. You can record it anywhere now. But I like to be in my in my home, studio space, and uh, that's where I mostly get the ideas down, and I record vocals there. But um, you
Did you
know,
have a reel to reel 8-track 30 years ago?
no, I never had that. I never had a reel to reel. No, I know, no. Actually, I mean, well, yeah. I was doing like a lot of MIDI stuff. I mean, I did have a Mac. Like, I had an SE30. I used to do a lot of stuff, and then I did the same thing. I would do demos at home, and then we would just go to a studio and get buy the expensive reel of tape, and do it the right way. Well, or whatever, the right way. I mean, it was the right way then. Now there is no right way.
Pretty much. I mean,
I mean, there is no wrong way.
the right way is however you can make it happen, I think.
Uh, that's right. So what I meant to say is there's no wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, however you're making music and getting it down, people record records on iPhones.
I mean, the one of the biggest records of the year a couple years ago, that I'm embarrassed to say I don't remember her name right now. She's like the biggest pop star.
Oh, you mean what's her name?
Her brother produces her
That
records.
girl.
She's
Yeah, I
fucking
know.
wildly popular.
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish.
I like her.
I mean, didn't they record that in her bedroom or in her brother's bedroom?
That's what I heard. Yeah. I mean, I don't listen to
So,
her, but I've heard her and I like her. She got a sound.
yeah.
You know.
It's I wouldn't know her music if I heard it. Maybe
Yeah.
I've heard
Well,
it in passing
yeah,
or something.
Yeah, she's got this sleepy, like, kind of almost jazzy thing going on. It's like, it's vibey. It's a vibe.
A lot of people love it, so maybe I'd like it. Although a lot of people like a lot of shit that I am not into.
Yeah, yeah, of course. There's a lot out there now. There's a lot of bad stuff out there, but there's a lot of good stuff too.
Do you find that your opinions about things have softened over the years or hardened over the years?
That's a good question. I mean, you know what? I think they've softened because I realize that it's all music. Oh wait, you're talking about music, of course, right?
Yeah, but I'm also just sort of talking about life
Oh,
because I
okay.
think they go hand in hand.
Well, that's true. I mean, I think I've always kind of felt the same way. I mean, I try to have an open mind. Like politically, I'm a moderate. I like to hear both sides, but I don't like to hear the crazy people on both sides. Uh, which there's a lot of that. Is very annoying.
Why not?
I gotta tune it out. No, it's just rampant. People, it's as you know, it's very annoying. But I think musically, there's a lot of music that I don't like. But in the end, it's just music. It's just sound waves. I mean, it's entertainment. People like it. I don't like to hear, you know, certain types of music or like stuff. But I think I think my opinion on music has 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 softened, but I think I was always pretty open minded as far as music goes. It's all just sound waves, man.
Let's talk about sound waves for a minute
Sound
before.
waves,
And
bro.
I know we don't have a ton of time left, but uh, what did you tune standard? Are your guitars tuned standard, or do you
Yeah,
tune
yeah. Well,
standard
sometimes I on a couple songs I just tune the low E down, like like half
drop
a step.
D?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But you're not
Yeah.
doing like half step or any of that stuff.
No, 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 no. I'm just like no. I'm pretty basic.
There's a lot of fuss about a few years ago, especially when people were talking about A440 not like being this like bad thing because the way that the frequency of that register resonates with the
Right.
human body or whatever it was didn't jive.
Right.
Being having do you have perfect pitch as classically trained musician?
I don't.
Good for you. God, what a fucking burden that would be.
I know. I heard it's like a burden, but sometimes I wish that I had it. But yeah, I mean, I have relative pitch, but no, I do not have.
Yeah. I played with a guy that had perfect pitch and I would try to stump him all the time. I just play some random note. And never, ever snuck one by him. But he would often say, like, that's I see what you're trying to do there, but you're out of tune. And then I would look and I fucking would be like, a cent off. I would just want to
Annoying.
fucking sock him in the nose. But
Yeah, that's annoying.
imagine how annoying it would be for him.
I think it'd be annoying. Sometimes stuff sounds cool out of tune, of course, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
of course.
like yeah.
Do you have an opinion on what I was talking about earlier with the how there
Um,
was a standardized tuning that we landed on, and that's become the convention?
yeah, I mean, no, I haven't given that much thought. So, short answer, no. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of interesting that our Western music is, just you know a certain number of notes and micro tunings and uh, Eastern music is like pretty cool and yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if it could be uh, expanded or use some of the alternate tunings and stuff. I mean, Western ear. I mean, that's a whole other.
outside of like is it called a tone bar?
Yeah.
Like a pitch bend?
Yeah.
Outside of pitch bend, are there microtonal keyboards?
I mean, I mean, I haven't used any really. I mean, I think there are. I think you can do that, but I'm just standard tuning guy.
Yeah.
So
I bet with technology
I don't know about that.
you can program them now, huh?
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure you can. I'm sure that there are people doing that.
It would be very confusing though to
Yeah,
go back and
yeah, yeah.
forth.
Yeah. I don't even like to think about it. I'm just getting confused. Just talking about
Do you have plans for next year?
next year. I'm going to do a record, man. Split Second Meltdown. We're going to do a record. I'm going to do it in the studio.
Full length record.
I'm going to get a producer who's going to record me. Yeah, I need somebody to record my vocals because I a lot of times I limit myself okay, let's talk about Dave Grohl again. That guy can scream, and I
Right.
hear that guy scream, and I'm like, that guy's screaming, like that guy is going for it, and that's what I need to do. I need to go for it. I mean, I don't know if he has any angst, but he probably does. He probably did. He can, I mean, that guy is awesome. But so yeah, so I need somebody to record me, to produce my vocals. I'm good at producing other people's vocals, but I need somebody to produce my vocals. So
Get the
that's a
best
long answer.
performance out of you.
Yes, yes, I want someone to do that for me. So that's my idea for early next year. Um, and then I want to do some gigs. And I want to play some keys on some records, and I want Dave Grohl to. I want to meet him, and then hey dude, let's do your solo record. Give Rami Jaffe a little break, and
He's got too much work. Give the poor guy
yeah,
a break.
Rami. I met him one time, lovely guy, but
Probably exhausted.
yeah, he needs to, he just needs like a little, he needs like a little vacation. He's probably very tired of touring.
I would think so. I would think so. No, I think that would be a really fun band to be in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so. I mean, I think so. Yeah, yeah. Or maybe just something a little heavier, like I like their music. That's, I mean,
Sometimes it is heavy.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So sometimes it gets a little light for me, which of course I've played light music in my life, but I want to play heavy music. I want to play some crazy hard
What's
rock.
the heaviest band that you're into? Are you into
Well,
are you into black metal?
no. That's
Those
too much.
guys, they use synthesizers. But I think it sucks.
Yeah, yeah. No. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like old school, heavy, heavy,
It doesn't
heavy,
groove. Black metal
heavy
doesn't
music.
groove.
Yeah. I like grooves too, and I
That's
like,
the thing.
I like grooves. I like funk. I mean, I like, you know, but yeah, I'm into riffs. I'm into guitars, man. And you play guitar. Let's play.
Fine. Fuck,
I'll come.
I'm
I'll,
fucking dying.
I'll come up to Woodstock.
Man, there's all kinds of stuff. I saw actually I am just outside of Hudson and I saw Jesse play here a couple years
Oh,
ago with Tommy.
oh yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, Tommy's
He's-
up there, right?
Yeah.
Tommy Stinson lives up there.
Yeah. He lives in town.
Oh shit. Okay.
There's all kinds of stuff going on up here. They got a
Yeah,
studio or two in Woodstock.
I know. Yeah.
They got a couple of them up there.
Applehead, Dreamland. You got like a few places up there.
Hey, can you do me a favor? This I think.
Sure.
Let's see. What's I can't look at my calendar right now while this is happening, but I think your single comes out on the 11th. Is that right?
On the 12th. Yeah. On
12th.
on
That's a
November
Friday.
12th. Yes, big game hunting. Video. I did a video premiere. Is November 9th, and the single comes out November 12th.
I'll make sure to share that stuff on my socials for you. And
Okay.
I want to make sure to be able to plug that because this is going to come out the Monday after that.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and let me know if you need, anything like.
You know what I could use? I could use a few, if you have 2 or 3 high res photographs.
Okay.
Preferably of you performing, but also if you have anything, I cut them up. I'll use one just for the podcast that goes to Spotify and fucking
Mm-hmm.
Apple. And then I make, you know, thumbnails for YouTube and thumbnails for Instagram, all that jazz.
All right, I'll send you like an assortment of.
Send me the complete promotional packet, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and then I'm gonna play a track too, right? At some point.
Yes, we're not gonna say out loud what it is here because it's always a surprise. But
That's awesome.
it's a cool ass song and it's an interesting lineup. And one of the people playing, I will say, was in Queens of the Stone Age. So
All right.
6 Degrees.
That's right.
Just saying.
Look at that.
Connections. This is like a goddamn Couchers is like a goddamn dating service.
I know,
We're
man.
gonna get you that gig.
Awesome, Mike.
Why not?
I love it.
Why not? You
right.
just think about it. You just got to think about it.
Right. You got to just put it out there, right?
You got to think about it, and you got to tell people what you want.
That's true, and you have to be as specific as possible.
Right.
Which sometimes I get lost with that part. Sometimes I'm just too fuzzy for that part.
Well, if you start thinking about specifics, you start thinking about possibilities. When you start thinking about possibilities, well, that's a slippery fucking slope.
Well, that's true, and then things could just backfire and go horribly wrong.
Well,
or not.
We don't want to think about that, man. We don't. We're just thinking about all the great things. Could also go wildly great.
That's right. They could go wildly great, and they will go wildly great
someday.
That's right.
Hey Rob, you're fucking great. I love the songs.
Thanks, Mike.
I love the new tune, and
you,
I'm gonna keep listening to it. I hope that I can come see you play.
Yeah,
I'm not far out of town, and we're in town occasionally, so I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled for shows. And when you are playing shows, send me messages, and I'll pop them into my feed.
I will. We're hooked up now, so I'm very. It's a pleasure to be on your show, on your podcast, and your.
It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Thank you, sir.
Have a great night, man. I had a great time talking with you.
Thank you. Yeah, you asked awesome questions, and I was very happy to answer it, and it was a very enjoyable experience for me. Thank you.
Win-win.
Yes, win-win.
All right, buddy. Have a great night.
Okay, thank you. You too, Mike.
Bye.
Bye.